Make sure. Hell yeah, we're active. So once this round is done, 6 rounds will be left in Season 5's championship. And we are actually at a track that is actually a unique racing. And it's actually a home track to one driver. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, to RPL Season 5 F1. I am Ironwolf here, and we are at Circuit of the Americas for round 14 of the RPL F1 Championship. So last week, we were in Japan, and that race was won by L74G, and on the original finishing, it was L74G, Maxwell, and Reese. But because of a bug, giving him an unnecessary 3.8 seconds of unnecessary penalty, Matt GW reclaimed his P2, and Maxwell had to settle for P3. In the Drivers' Championship, L74G, it continues extending his lead, 73.5 points clear of Reese, who we see on deck right now, as we will be going on board with him for this first Q1 lap, and we'll be on board with him for this one. As we're on board with him, something else I want to mention here, 6 drivers are currently eligible to win the Drivers' Championship. L74G with 257.5, Reese sitting in second with 184, Matt GW sitting third with 137, Maxwell G close behind with 133, Fake TV sitting in 5th with 113, and Payox sitting in 6th with 79. Those 6 drivers are still in contention for the Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull continues gaining their lead. If I'm reading this correctly, they're nearly 100 points clear of Mercedes as the season winds down, and McLaren sitting in 3rd with 173. Surprisingly, they're also still in contention too. But as we're watching Reese making his way through the 2 switchbacks here at Circuit of the Americas, which is in Austin, Texas, which interestingly is home to one driver in the field who's yet to come out for a Q lap, and that is Beatnik in the McLaren. Beatnik from the state of Nevada, probably about 6 hours away from Circuit of the Americas, could be more, and resets the benchmark 31.6. And let's take a look at all the other drivers that are also here as well. TB, who just set a time of 32.5, he is here. Reserving for Haas tonight is ETSR Layton, who is the Alpine driver, who is an Alpine Academy driver, filling in for WMD, who is not racing tonight. JRT Salt reserving for Stenner, who couldn't make it. He's in Alfa Romeo. Jack in Williams, he is in running for who is he running for? Okay, so he is running for... Oh, I just realized something. We got Artifact booted out of the event. Uh-oh, hang on. so while we get that figured out, so Gecko, he's here. Egg in the AlphaTauri. Screw it, I'm not gonna mention the drivers here. You can see it all on screen, so who cares? Matt setting up on his first lap. Now this guy, he's been having some really good races as of late. Still sitting P3 in the Drivers' Championship. He's only got one win to his credit, which was in Baku. Came close a few times to getting another win. Last week being Japan, but unfortunately Luke beat him to the punch. So here we go. So Matt's making his way around. While we check up on his teammate, the other McLaren driver, local home country track hero, Beatnik is in this one. Beatnik, he's been doing quite well. He's actually been doing quite well, and not y'all just crashed out of turn 1. And Beatnik full fastest. Wow, not bad. It's only 2 minutes left in Q1, but 4th place is not that bad. That's a very impressive lap time. And Matt and his teammate just clears him by a 10th of a second. And interestingly, they're both ahead of the other Mercedes of TB. So now we have one driver, no doubt, definitely out of Q1, which is going to be not y'all. He's out. Well, there is one driver that's yet to come out on track, and when he does come out on track, you may notice him sitting in the position counter that you can see in the 20th spot. NRX Square. Now, for those that don't know, that is known by multiple names, either be POR Square, IRL Square, but literally, for some other viewers, this individual goes by the name of Joseph. I know I'm going to butcher his last name because it's been a while since I last said it. Joseph Loki. Now for those that don't know, he was in I just want to make sure I have this correctly. Just want to make sure I had this right. I don't have this wrong. Yes, it is. Just want to mention it right. So, just want to mention with NRX Squared, like I said, that is Joseph Loki, who, for those that are interested to know, this guy races in Formula 4 in British Formula 4. Driver the number 84 for JHR Developments team. So, very interesting. We have basically someone in racing again in RPL who is currently racing in an FIA Formula Series. So that I do wonder how well he will do in this race here tonight. Now the interesting thing was that if my memory was correct, the last time I remember him racing was in Season 2 F1, where he raced for Mercedes and he won the season opener and round 2 in Bahrain for Mercedes. So he has quite the raw power talent, but tonight he is in the Aston Martin crew. So I do wonder how well he will do once he comes out on deck. And there's only 6 minutes left, so he might be coming out within the next couple of minutes, maybe. So currently, as it sits, Luke is currently on top of the timing board with a 31.1, almost half a second clear of Reese right now. And yeah, this should definitely be good. So Salt, Cryptic, Maxwell, and Square, those guys have yet to set a lap. But those guys should be actually. Is it? Oh no, he's over there. Okay, that's probably Jack, most likely. Boy, trying to improve his time. Yes, it is Jack. I just caught a glimpse of it. So let's see what Maxwell's got. Currently sitting 4th in the Drivers' Championship. Has a couple of wins to his credit. And he's only gone 2nd fastest, about a 10.5 behind his teammate. So it looks like it's going to be close to another Red Bull 1-2. As now Square, he is now out and about on the track. And here goes Cryptic, making his loop around. He was in F2 earlier today. And here he comes across the line, and it is P15, so he's on the bubble, but he's still eligible to continue on. So I wonder how Cryptic will do if he is able to fix it up. Just like mentioning before, Cryptic racing Formula 2 earlier today. You can see that on Beatnik's Twitch channel. I'll mention that in a sec. But Cryptic finished P4 in both the feature and the sprint. Let's see, where is Square? There he is. Car number 84. And Maxwell moves out of the way for him. Luke calls it a run. So let's see what Square's got. Here he goes. And he gets ready to fire it up for a run. And off he goes. The Alpines has also called it a run. 9 and 10 at the moment. But let's see what we got. And Reese has just told me that him and Beatnik have U.S. helmets. Let's see how they looked on stream. Well, let's take a look. Where's Beatnik so we can take a look? Well, that's a bad camera angle. Bit of a bad angle there. A little tricky to see. I might have to try to catch it. Wish we could have an easy camera view so we can actually see it. I want to see this. Let's see if I can try to figure something out. There, wow. Joe's actually doing really good. Doing pretty solid. I wonder how, let's see what he's got. I'm willing to bet he's probably going to be in the top 5. I'm willing to bet he'll be in the top 5. Here he comes on the penultimate corner. Last corner now. As he struts across the line. I was just barely off. But 7th fastest, 32.5. 4 milliseconds off of TV's time. That was a very nice lap by Square. Very, very, very nice. Maxwell has called it a run. And AK is out too. Actually, oh no, AK's crashed in the last corner. Okay, so currently, Salt's now out to get his lap in. And has Paul Gas crashed it? No, he hasn't. I think he's... No, Paul Gas called it. The guy's 14th. So he's in the bubble of getting knocked out of Q1. So a lot of these guys are getting sent packing. That's for sure. Salt's yet to get a lap in. And yeah, a lot of drivers are calling it a run. That's for sure. Let's see. So let's see what Salt's got. I mean, he has to beat a 33. He has to get into the 32.9s. There's a ton of those here. That's for sure. I wonder how he will do. For sure. Cryptic's just ahead, as you can see just there. And Cryptic just doesn't make it, so Cryptic and Jacker are knocked out. And Salt joins. So basically both Williams, both Haas, and Salt are out of Q1. So KVS, by the skin of his teeth, he makes it. So that is the end of Q1. So Luke fastest 31.1. Who knows? Maybe we might see a minute 30 for maybe a Q3 time. I wouldn't be surprised to see a minute 30 show up. But that would be quite interesting to see. That's for sure. So KVS and Square, only one's left to finish him up. So KVS, I don't think he... you could probably back off. I think he's done enough to get through. Well, he went very slightly faster, but still. But that's the end of Q1. So Luke fastest, Maxwell second, Reese third. That's the top three from Q1. And we say goodnight to ETSR Leighton, aka Not Y'all, AK, Cryptic, Salt, and Jack. We say goodbye to them. So who will make it into Q3 with when Q2 is all said and done? We'll find out right after this. And here we are for Q2. And let's see what these guys are coming out on for their tires. No. Okay. That was a little weird. Had some static with the audio for some weird reason. But, anyways, there's, so some mixed options here. You see F1X, Polygon, Square, and Luke. They decided to go for medium tires. Everyone else right now, they're on hards. So this is a little weird, and this isn't. Oh, check this. I'll check out this. A little workover between Reese and Square. That should be a very unique, definitely a very unique element here, as Reese, just like before, is going to be setting the benchmark for Q2 laps, and off we go. Let's see how Reese will do in terms of it. We'll actually show his speed over here, right here at the bottom center of the screen here. Let's see how quick he does in those S's. He's just starts entering the S's right around 180 miles an hour. Brakes at about 140. These guys get really quick in some of these S's. And as he makes his way out of there, right almost back up, close to about 180 miles an hour, heading into the next major braking zone here. Now on to the long DRS back straight. You can see speeds in the toe. If you're in the toe when you're in the toe during the race, expect speeds almost at 200 to 205 miles an hour, heading into the heavy braking zone to wrap up Sector 2. And now onto the switchbacks. Oh, who cares? Anyways, so... And, oh no! Red Fire's crashed! Where is it? Where'd he crash? There he is! He just wrecked it! Right there in between the switchbacks. Well, okay. So, that happened. Okay, so, well, now that means that Red Fire is definitely going to get a free choice of tire. He'll be starting dead last in the Q2 roster in 15th. Reese set the fastest lap with a 31.4. The Chiller second with a 32.2. And Egg in third with a 32.4. And that's the soft tire guys. With the medium tire guys, Square's the fastest with a 33.6. Well, I know probably that 33.6 is not going to last much longer, because probably Matt's going to blast that apart. More people are going for their ones. Actually, TB just took that. 32.7. Let's see what Matt's got. He's making it around the final couple of corners. And here he comes, crosses the line. 32.9. So he's only a couple tenths off of TB, but quite close. Maxwell's also out on mediums too. So is Luke. Let's see. Okay, well there's Gecko. Gecko's gonna have to retreat back to the pits because he invalidated his lap. And oh. I think Maxwell has changed his mind. And take a look at this. Luke fastest in the medium tire, guys. 32.3. He's just about a tenth behind the Chiller, but he beats Egg by about 5/100ths of a second on those mediums. And the only other soft tire guy to set a lap was a Payox with just a hair above a 33 flat. I mean, interesting choice. I mean, soft tires are going for the AlphaTauri crew, mediums for the Red Bull crew, so definitely an interesting choice of optional strategies for the Red Bull Academy team. Considering this, that Luke and Maxwell probably have, if my memory is right, has accounted for nearly 70%, 75% of the total wins in this entire series season so far. I'll have to get the demographic on the winners for so far this season. But all I do know is that Matt has one win. Like I said, in Baku, I said that earlier. Payox was a surprise winner in Russia last week. Reese has, I believe, 1 or 2 wins on his resume, and then the rest were basically taken by Maxwell and Luke. I could be incorrect, but I'll just make sure I'll have a demographic for that. But anyways, Payox, he's gonna have to redo a new lap. 40 is quite horrible, if you ask me. Polygod, he's gonna have to do another run because he's invalidated it. I mean, literally the S's. It was also common in Formula 2 earlier today, but it's gonna be common here today. Those S's, you'll see a lot of track limit warnings and maybe track limit penalties. You'll be seeing that a lot in the S's. So basically from turns 3 to 9 is all where you can get track limit warnings and penalties. That would be quite interesting to see, at least. So, Paul God having to retreat back to the pits for a new run. But the thing is that what I find just slightly interesting is that with Mercedes, they've gone for an alternate strategy option, as you can see with Q2. Fastest, whatever you set your fastest lap on in Q2, that's the tire you're stuck with for the event. And Reese did his on a soft tire, while TB, he did his on a medium tire. So Mercedes playing the alternate strategy game. Meanwhile, Red Bull, they're on par with each other. They're doing a medium tire for Q2. Both of them are. And Luke is currently the fastest of those guys. But don't forget, Maxwell is yet to set his time. And actually, he's going to be finishing up very soon. So about a little over 4 minutes left to go as Maxwell 32.5. So just a hair over a tenth. About 13 hundredths of a second off. But he's 2/10, but he's over 2/10 clear TB. So Red Bull, with the medium tires, are shown to be stronger than the Mercedes. And Beatnik gets help from his teammate. As you just saw, Matt GW giving him the tow and DRS train help and clears that out of the way. Matt GW giving Beatnik a nice assist. And that could be a very fast time. I'm willing to say I think he's probably going to be in that Red Bull trio between Luke, Egg, and Maxwell. And as he comes across the line, and it is, as I predicted it, 32.388, 500s clear of Egg. So, as we're about 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go, F1X. We have Redfire, who's definitely going to be knocked out of qualifying Q2 here. Gecko, Polygon, those two have yet to set a time. And those two need to improve their times in order to stay in Q2, to stay forward into Q3. It's KVS, F1X, Payox, and Matt. Those guys are at risk. And speaking of Matt, Beatnik returning the favor. As you saw the onboard, Beatnik gives Matt the DRS help train again, just like he did the lap prior. So Beatnik pays it forward. So this should be very interesting. So let's see what Matt's got. He's going to be coming across the line. And this lap is definitely looking really good as he comes across. And his second fastest, Square, third fastest too, is now third fastest too. So, Matt, very interesting choice. And shockingly, Maxwell is now closing in at being at risk. Here comes F1X, coming across the line. Oh, he's got one more lap to go. Let's see what KVS has. It's basically now or never shots here. It's been a while since Alfa Romeo's been in Q3. Here comes KVS. He comes across, and it's not enough. 33-1. That's the end of KVS. So KVS knocked out of Q2. Let's see who's next. Who's next across? That's going to be Gecko. As Polygod gets some help. Who's that that helped him? Actually, Polygod got help from Matt. From Matt playing nice with the Alfa Romeo. With the Aston Martin. And let's see how Polygod out. Here comes Gecko. Here comes across. And it's only P10. So that's a pretty dangerous cusp. And can we just mention that TB's at risk of being knocked is going to be knocked out of Q2 as well. And Polygod, P12. That's the end of Polygod. Polygod out of Q2. So Polygod, KVS out of Q2. F1X, here he comes across the line. And is only P12. So F1X out of Q2. But now the question is, who's going to be knocked out of Q? Who's going to be the last one knocked out? Is it going to be Gecko? Is it going to be Gecko? Or is it going to be TB? I kid you not. TB at risk of being knocked out. But he's going much faster than he's supposed to be. So I mean, at the moment right now, he's sitting for third fastest right now. So TB is going to knock Gecko clean out of Q2. Unless he invalidates it, then that's going to be disastrous. But here he is at his P2. 31-6. So, Luke and Maxwell, P6 and P9, and they'll be on the medium tires for Q2, but they made it through. Payox makes it through to Q2 as well. Q3, I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. Beatnik into Q3, so is Egg into Q3 as well. Square, NRX Square, Ditchiller, Matt and Reese, those guys are in Q3 as well. So, we say goodbye to Redfire, KVS, Polygod, F1X, and Gecko. Those 5 are out of Q2, and who will claim pole from Q3? We'll find out right after this moment. Alright, so here we are in the Q3. So, we have both Mercedes of TB and Reese, both Red Bull, the entire Red Bull team Academy crew of Payox, Maxwell, Egg, and Luke. Then we had the lone Aston Martin of Square, the lone Ferrari of the Chiller, and the 2 McLarens of Matt and Beatnik. So, question is, who is going to get the Q1. Who's gonna get the Q3 pole and lead the field down the runner? No, this should be good. We're actually gonna be on top of Beatnik. And oh, there's the helmet. Whoa, that's actually a very nice helmet. I actually like that. I actually did catch a glimpse. I actually did see Reese's helmet too. Like I said before, Reese and Beatnik both sporting helmets supporting the track of the USA. And I will say, Reese, as much as I give your helmet credit, I'd say Beatnik's is actually slightly better. It's like very good. So everybody's out and about on track, except for Maxwell. Maxwell's sitting pretty and waiting. So the first benchmark is going to be Luke that will set the benchmark. And as he comes across, 31-0, and Reese 3/10 behind. As everyone fills in, Beatnik 32.5. Matt starting a new lap. TB 31.2. Wow. So 32 TB, a 10th clear. DeChiller 32.4. Next up, Egg just ducked out to the pits. And looks like Square's going to be redoing his run. And there he goes. So Square redoing his run. Maxwell's out on deck now. Payax invalidated his run. Luke moves over for Payax. Beatnik helping Matt just like they did in Q2. And off and away they go. See what Matt's gonna do for a time. Should be pretty good if you ask me. And oh boy. Matt might run into traffic. Oh, they're moving over. Okay, never mind. And there it goes. Matt crosses the line. P4 31.7. Alright, so Payax has to do another run. Egg's on an outlap. Let's see, Maxwell. Okay, Maxwell's just entering the back straight. And here comes Square, cross, 32.3, puts a P5. Not bad. So very good event, very good run there. So very good run by Square there. Now let's see, Maxwell, here he comes across the line, and oh, I did say we were gonna have a minute 30, and we got it. Maxwell got it, 30.9. I said it in Q2 that at some point there might be a minute 30, probably for Q3, and Maxwell just makes my day by saying it. Oh, nice helmet from Egg. Nice helmet from Egg there. A bit of an iridescent, very nice neonic purple there. That's actually a not bad helmet, Egg. That's for sure. Very nice. Oh my. So it looks like Egg, he's gonna have to. So Egg's gonna have to try again. Same with Payox. They're gonna have to try. He's gonna have to try again. So those two have yet to get their laps in, and currently, in terms of the lap times, the slowest of this pack is Beatnik with a 32.5, and actually, him and the Chiller are actually back out on track. But literally half the field is sitting in the 31s or lower, with Matt being the slowest of that 31 runners, with a 31.7. But still, him being P5 is actually not bad. And very interestingly, as you can see it is a Red Bull 1.2 and a Mercedes 3.4. And what's more shocking about those two the two pairings I just mentioned, it's the second drivers that are ahead of the primaries. Maxwell ahead of Luke, and TB ahead of Reese. And if it stays that way, that's gonna be very interesting, because it's been a while since we've seen both Maxwell and TB beat Reese and Luke in terms of qualifying positionings. Whew. Long words to say there, but we're coming into 2 minutes left to go in quali, and the Chiller goes wide. That's not what the Chiller wants, that's for sure. He's gonna have to go again, and sadly enough, if he's only got enough fuel to last one lap, that's it for the Chiller. He's done. And let's see. Oh, he does have enough. I think he does have enough. Yeah, he does. Okay. So the Chiller's gonna have to try one more time, and if he messes up, that's the end of the Chiller. Nice bumper cam. So that is a nice, interesting bumper can. So let's see. So the Chiller went wide out of turn 10, but he is still alive. Let's see. Square's gonna have to try again. As everybody is still up and about. Okay, Beatnik is gonna be the first of these guys to finish. Here goes Beatnik, comes across, and it is P6 temporarily. And here we go. Let's see, who's that ahead? Is that Payox? Yes, it is Payox. Payox comes across, finally gets a lap in. Only P8. So, let's see, here comes the Chiller. So the Chiller is going to be the one to end the timings. And the Chiller, P7. So the Chiller, that's it for him. And Egg has crashed in the hairpin, so Egg will be starting P10. So Egg P10, the Chiller temporarily is P7, but Square and Payox can outrun it. Here comes Reese. Here he comes. See how well he can do. Cross the line. And he's lost it. That's it. He's P4. Here comes TB. TB's ahead. TB's fastest. And Maxwell beats it. So TB just barely had it. But now, all eyes are on Luke now. Luke is left. Here comes Matt. He's P5. Let's see if he can improve. Here he comes around the final corner. And he's across, and it is still P5. So Luke, next up, can he deny his teammate pole? And he doesn't. He does not. So Maxwell gets pole position. And and Square splits the McLarens. So Maxwell is pole position. Nice job. As Payox dies off of the pits. Payox is P9. And that's the end of qualifying. Maxwell is P1. Your winner of qualifying. Nice work. So there it is. Maxwell on pole, TB second, and Luke third. And Reese P4. There it is. That's your quality there. But we'll be moving on to the race itself, and this should be a. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good race. That's for sure. So here we go. We'll be firing up for the for the race itself. It should be good. 20 corners Dakota track is. So, and here we are. The formation lap begins. Now, let us run through the grid order for today's event. So, Maxwell is on pole, and he's got TB alongside him for row 1. Row 2, it is the main drivers, Luke in third, with Reese in fourth. Row 3, it is Matt GW in the McLaren and NRX Square in the Aston Martin. Row 4, it is Beatnik in the other McLaren, and he's held with the Chiller in the Ferrari. Alpha Tauri makes up row 5 with Payox in P9 and Egg in P10. Then it is Gecko in P11, followed by F1X in the Alpine in P12. Row 7 will hold the other Aston Martin of Polygod and the Alfa Romeo of KVS. Row 8 holds the other Alpine of Red Fire Tiger, who crashed in the beginning of Q2, so he's starting 15th. Jack sitting in P16 in the Williams. Row 9, it is the other Alfa Romeo of JRT Salt and Jack's teammate TSR Cryptic in the other Williams. Then it is a Haas back row with AK in P19 and Leighton, who crashed early in Q1, at the back in P20. So Maxwell, Luke, Gecko, Polygod, Red Fire, Jack, and AK are on the medium tires, while everybody else is on the sauce. 28 laps is the distance, and with this race, it is a unique strategy. It's either a soft to hard strategy from what you saw on the mini screen powered by AWS, or a two-stop soft medium. But most likely, knowing these guys with their runs, I'd say these guys might do with the mediums, might go long with their medium stint and finish off the race in the. We'll be finishing up with the softs. So Leighton and AK, the last two, line themselves into place, and they are in position. So as we wait, here we go. The 5 lights come on to start the US Grand Prix. And we're off and away. It looks like TB gets a massive start. Luke right behind with him, and Breeze on the inside, almost 3 wide into turn 1. Matt gets squeezed wide. Multiple cars getting up in argy-bargy, and TB squeaks ahead of Maxwell and puts himself into the lead. And Luke falls into 4th place, and multiple cars are screaming away around in the S's. And Matt right behind Luke, seeing if he can try to get in there. Matt, NRX Square loses P7 to Beatnik, but he's still fine as they make their way into the hairpin as Reese overtakes Maxwell, and it is a Mercedes 1-2 as they head into the back straight, as these guys are just wheeling their way around to get themselves up into position, rallying themselves around, and this is going to be strong and good. Here comes Beatnik, still battling with NRX Square, as we're seeing this on the onboard cam here, and they clear out, and Square takes advantage of Beatnik, and they switch back. F1X, he was in P12, he's already up into P10 now. Egg moves up a position. Payox, big loser, P9, he's all the way down to P14. Looks like Payox probably had a poor start to kicking off, but it is advantage Mercedes at the moment, as the top 10 as they cross the line to complete lap number 1. It is TB, Reese, Maxwell, Luke, Matt, the Chiller, Square, Beatnik, Egg, and F1X. But don't forget, Maxwell and Luke are on the harder medium compound tires, so they will feel vulnerable to these fast soft tire guys, as we are seeing the onboard of Luke here as he's sweeping his way through the S's, and looks like AK has immediately gone into the pits to get the hard compound tires. Also another big loser, shockingly, is a Gecko. He was P11, he's all the way down in P18, so something went horribly wrong for Gecko. Actually, he's been passed by Red Fire, so yeah, someone's definitely very wrong with Gecko. something doesn't happen to him. Let's take a look at his car. No, he doesn't have any damage. He's okay. Meanwhile, Polygon being challenged by Jack. No, they're making contact. And off they go. They go wide. And Saul and Jack were shoving each other about. And, oh, there, he got shoved up again. And, oh, there goes Jack. Spun up by Saul. And Jack resets. That's not good. Oh, Lord. Oh, lordy. And Gecko immediately joining the 3-second penalty club, and Egg darts onto the pits. I think Egg's got damage. So Egg has problems. Let's see where he's got. Let's see what's going on once he comes in. And so is Gecko. He's in as well. And yeah, he's got wing damage. Off those sauce onto the medium compound tires. But anyways, as DRS is now enabled, TB almost a second clear of Reese, who is over almost 2 seconds clear of Maxwell, and Luke about 8/10 behind Maxwell. But anyways, as they make their way through the hairpin, Matt right up the back of Luke. So this should be very interesting to see. Let's see what happens here as he gets DRS. Okay, I don't want to see his back end. We're on board with him. He's going to get a better toe. Let's see if he's going to make a move. Is he going to think it? No, he's not. Luke covers him last moment. He knows where he was going. And the Mercedes boys switch. Reese takes the lead. So Reese takes the lead, and further back in that pile, Redfire and Layton, they're battling it out. That's P14 they're fighting for. And Redfire on the inside, and they're still almost side by side as they make their way around. And he is clear. Redfire makes it clear. So Redfire makes it clear of Layton. That is for P14 between those two guys, and everything seems to fall into place, and it's steady streaming as they make their way through the S's now. So Reese takes the lead, and well, listen, if Reese wins, this is going to be a while since he last won. His last win was in France, which unfortunately got cut short because the game glitched. And, oh boy, speaking of which, we're going to have a nice little scrap here. We're going to have Square, Joseph Loki, on the attack to try to get 6th place from the Chiller. And he makes his way on the inside, and he makes short work of the inaugural champion. And in the background, KVS gets F1X for P9. So Square in a P6, and KVS up in the P9. I do wonder, when is Mac going to make the charge? He is all over the back end of Luke, and this is going to be really good. This is going to be quite good. See if maybe Mac can try to pass. Actually, no, it's Maxwell he's going to try to pass. Luke, so Red Bull switched it up. And looks like Mercedes have decided to switch again. This time TB takes back the lead. And F1X gets P9 back from KBS. Okay. So this is going to be quite interesting to see. So some of these guys are trying to rally for positions. And, well, I'll just easily mention this. Beatnik is playing the challenge. And, oh, we got a crash. Paul got hard on the wall. And there he is. He is off the track. He is hard into the wall in turn number 6. And no safety car deployed. We don't have a safety car out. Hell, not even a VSC. I guess it's because of how far out he is. And, oh, Matt locks up. Just caught in the nick of time. And the McLarens make moves. Matt gets into P4, and Beatnik gets P7. check this out. Salt and Layton are battling it out. Let me take a look at this. This is some funny crap here. It's the battle of the crap. Battle of the crap, yeah. Anyway, so Reese switches again with TV, so he's back in the lead, and those two are sitting over 2 seconds ahead of Luke right now. So they're sitting okay. Redfire, who had a little bit of a problem earlier in the event, he's up in P12. And Payock's actually on recovery. He was all the way down in P4 and P15 near the end of lap 1. He's already back up to P10. And Mercedes switching again. I think now I'm understanding their strategy. I think they're switching their positions every time they're in the DRS zones. As F1X and Payock's battling, they're close together. Ooh-wee. And F1X staunch defending as they make their way through the switchbacks. And they're right up and rubbing, but F1X holds his ground. Well, I will be honest. I think I get what their strategy was, but I don't think the strategy was working for the Mercedes duo. I think I understand what it is, but unfortunately, it's not working because Luke is actually gaining. He's actually gaining ground, and KVS caught in that DRS train with Payox, and he has to wait for another opportunity to get past Payox and F1X to get himself into the points. So KVS has several races on his belt so far this season. His best finish was a P5 back in round 6 in Austria. So it's been a lot. So some nice points would be very nice for KVS right now. Let's see. Is the Chiller gonna see about making a move? He's got the DRS wide open, but he's just too far back. There's Payox muscles his way around F1X, gets himself into P9. Now KVS has to wait even longer. And well, I think we can safely say the soft tires are starting to fade. Away, especially for the Mercedes boys, because Luke is just about to be in striking distance of getting DRS on Reese. And I think that simple thing is going to see further from Maxwell too, as he's in striking distance to try to get P4 back from Matt. So Matt, being hunted, now becomes the hunter. Here we go. Oh, I do wonder if this is going to be good. And now, yeah, Luke's in DRS range now. So Luke is within DRS striking distance now. He is up the tail of the Mercedes boys. He's off and about. Here comes Maxwell, and he makes easy work of Maxwell. Clears his way, and up into P4 is Maxwell, and Reese switches up with TB, and Reese is now back in the lead again. Let's see, yeah, so Reese off and away, and actually, Reese is coming in. Is Reese gonna be making a move? No, he's not. He's staying. He's staying out. So Reese is staying out. Actually, I think actually those blue lights mean that the pit window is open for these guys. Anyways, as more people start getting some penalties here, the Chiller, Salt joins the 3-second penalty club. Leighton also has one. Gecko, I believe, has 6 seconds of those. And now we're gonna have a battle for first, a 3-way fight for first. It is the 2 Mercedes versus Luke. So this should be a very unique and interesting turn of events. Here we go. Luke with DRS, Reese with DRS. That means TV is gonna be possibly in trouble very shortly, as those guys are right there. So I think I'll just spoil it for here. I think what's happening was that whenever they were in the DRS zones and they were close up, Reese and TB would switch to try to build some distance on the pack, and it just wasn't working because Luke was reeling him in closer and closer. And that is the same thing here, because literally those 3 separated by literally under a second, and Matt is coming into the pits. So Matt, the first of the soft tire runners, he has gone in. So Matt making the first jump, and he goes to the medium compound tires. So Matt makes the first move. I do wonder where he will be. Looks like he's going to come out with Cryptic and Salt. Nope, just barely ahead of Cryptic in P12. So, that is that there. And Leighton is also coming into the pits too. So Leighton also, medium tires for him, but he will come out in P18. Quite a bit behind, for sure. Anyways, well, we're following this fight, that's for sure. Now, I wonder, oh boy, this is going to get really good here. They're really tight packed. I mean, literally, they're so tight packed. I think you could probably fit all 3 of these guys onto a twin-size bed. That's how close together they are. Oh, I thought Reese just made contact with TB. Let's see this. We're back on board with Luke here, as he's just sniffing the tail of Reese, and TB makes the launch. For the mediums. So Reese is now off the fend on his own against Luke, and Square also decides enough's enough. I'm going in, and TB is going for the 2-stop strategy. Soft, medium. That's what he's going for. And TB is going to come out clear of KVS. And Square to Chiller, Payox, F1X, Cryptic. They've come into the pits. They've gone for mediums. So, I don't know. I think that might not be a smart idea on TB's part, as Luke clears Reese and puts himself into the lead. Now the question is, will Red Bull respond? How will Red Bull respond to TB's decision to go onto another set of soft tires? That is the question now. Is this an idea or maybe not? But here comes Reese. Reese is now coming in, and Reese and Luke will be 1-2. So this is going to be a very interesting choice of strategy here. And Reese, okay, so Reese is going on to the mediums. Beatnik's also in now too. And let's see, Reese is going to come out, and he's going to get just barely ahead of Matt. So Matt gets up on his grill. Now Beatnik, he's going to be coming out, and he's come out in P8. Quite a decent gap between him and Square. So Square undercuts Beatnik. So now this is going to be an interesting turn of events here, that's for sure, because for medium tire guys, there's only 4 that were committed to this. That's still going. It's Jack, who's sitting in P11. We have Red Fire sitting in P6, and the Red Bull Boys. As F1X clears Jack and takes P11 from him. So this should be very interesting. This should be a very interesting choice. But anyways, the two Red Bulls, they're gone. They're gone off and away. And these guys are gonna go quite a decent gap with the tires they got. I'm willing to bet, since this is only lap 12, I'm willing to bet probably by lap 18. I'd say by probably lap 18. Or a little bit closer to that, they're going to be coming into the pits, yeah, they're going to come into the pits and go for, they're going to go for soft tires. Anyways, looks like we have a problem in sector 2. That is Egg, and let's see, what was he doing? What's he doing, anyways? And looks like he's getting a little feisty with AK. It's at the back of the field. I mean, I'm curious what the heck's going on. I'm just curious. I'm just gonna keep an eye on this for a sec. 'Cause I'm thinking Egg might be up to something. I don't wanna bet he might be up to something. And AK. Yeah, AK's just hanging with him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those two are going at it. Okay. Well, that was interesting. KVS and Jack had a little fight. So, anyways, well, let's see. The Chiller's now gaining some ground on Beatnik. That's quite interesting. Anyways, TB right now, he's about 10 seconds behind Maxwell, and, well, to be fair, he's sort of gaining, but in some areas he's not gaining. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Those guys, yeah, those guys are still going at it. Okay. Well, that was weird. Well, anyway, so, okay, so anyways, let's see, so TB is still closing in. He's gained quite a bit. Looks like he's gained a little over a second on Maxwell, for sure. But the two Red Bulls, they're still staying out. Jack just lost P13 to Gecko. So, I'm just gonna safely say, I believe we know this. TB and TB is going for a 2-stop strategy. Reese and the 2 Red Bulls, they're going for a 1-stop strategy, and AK's crashed it. And we have a VSC deployed, and there's Egg sitting there. So I think they finally came to blows. I think Egg has wrecked. I think Egg has wrecked AK. And anyways, but that opens the door for Jack, Cryptic, and Gecko. Those guys have come in. And I think those guys, yeah, they are going for saw tires. So they're going to take advantage of the VSC. And actually a safety car has been deployed now. So it's now a safety car. So now that changes everything. So now all these guys are probably going to pit and get saw tires. So Luke is gonna pit, probably go for saw, and yeah, literally everybody's gonna go for saw tires now, and that's where they're gonna finish the race on. So courtesy of the two, the bumbling doofuses, because of the bumbling doofuses, yeah, we have a safety car. So now, that's the case. And looks like we are... Uh-oh. Yeah, so there they go. So, off for a double stack for the Red Bull crew. And off they are. Off and away. So, Red Bull will be taking the lead. TB's going to mediums. Oh yeah, duh, it's because TB started on softs. That's why. So he's got to use it. He's got to use a medium tire compound. So TB's going to be at a disadvantage. And Beatnik's staying out. Beatnik's staying out. Payox, F1X, they're staying out. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Well, this should be interesting. That's gonna be interesting for sure. So we're looking at probably about lap 17, because this is lap 15 of this race. So probably around lap 17 is when we'll be going back to green. And as it sits right now, the top 10, it is Luke, Maxwell, TB, Beatnik, Reese, Matt, Payox, F1X, Redfire, and Square. And we've had 3 DNFs so far. 1 AlphaTauri in the form of Egg, a Haas in AK, and a Aston Martin in Polygon, which, I will be honest, I'm just gonna say straight up with honesty, I think Polygon in all the in the races that Polygon's raced in, he spent more time being DNF'd than finishing. I'm just gonna say with brutal honesty here. So, yeah. So I'll just be right back in just a sec. Oh, perfect timing. Do my thing, and we're going back to green. So, Luke controls the field. Mixture of tire runs for sure. And off he goes in the penultimate corner. He has an easy jump on TB. And we are back under racing. And off we go. We are back under racing on lap 17. And Luke takes the lead with Maxwell in hot pursuit. This time Reese up the tail of Beatnik now. That's a battle for P4. Gecko clears KVS. Salt late in the battling. So here we go. This is going to go as you Sliver and Snake their way through the S's here. Beatnik is on medium tires, but they're 5 laps old. And Leighton is off. And Matt just gets himself a 3-second penalty. For track limits, here comes Reese down the inside of Beatnik. And he takes over P4. Here comes his teammate. And Beatnik moves over. Salt off into the wall in turn 10. And Salt has quit. Salt's quit. So that's the end of Salt. That's for sure. Meanwhile, Square. No, Red Fire battling Payox. So Red Fire clears Payox. Payox, just like Beatnik, was also stayed out too. And F1X also thinking the same thing. Like, why in the world did I pit? Why in the world did I not pit? I should have gone and pit. But now he's gonna get knocked out of points by Gecko. So now after lap 1 of green flag racing, Luke takes the lead, and he's half a second clear of Maxwell, and the Red Bulls are over 2 seconds clear of TB. But Reese is now working his magic to try to catch up, and Square clearing Payox. Leighton has called it quits. Gecko clears Payox. So Payox, basically, at this point, he's going to get knocked out of the points as well. So, now we say goodbye to Leighton. He's out of the event, sadly. But now Maxwell still up with Gecko there. But anyways, this is, speaking about Gecko, I wonder how Gecko's doing that. Speaking of Gecko right up on the tail of Square, so this should be interesting. These two I don't think these two have ever battled before, so this should be a unique turn of events. See how well Gecko fares against the Formula 4 driver in contact. Gecko misjudged his braking, or misjudged the braking off Square, and they collide. And I don't know if Gecko got damaged from that, but he looks okay. But Reese just takes over third from TB at the second switchback. And Reese, Matt's also going to be making a challenge to see if he can do that. Red Fire up and squeezes with Red Fire. Beatnik, they bump and bonk. And Red Fire has to back off, and he's like, "I'll just wait for another chance to go for it." And they just collide again in turn number 1. And this time, I think there's damage. Yes, there is. There is damage to the Alpine car. There's damage to the Alpine car, and Square just takes the lead, just takes 7th from Red Fire, and Red Fire now tumbling backwards down the order. Now Luke, he's leading. He's got Maxwell with him for DRS. Now Reese is trying to close the gap but there's only 9 laps left to go. And unfortunately, I don't know if Reese is going to have anything to challenge against the 2 Red Bulls. Actually, Square fighting Beatnik. So is Gecko. Square's fighting Beatnik. Gecko's in the party. We got three fighters here. Beatnik's actually holding his own. Beatnik's holding his own against Square. Square's putting up a hard fight. And Square's ahead. And Beatnik sent wide. I think contact with Gecko sent him wide. And Gecko takes 7th from Beatnik. And yeah, Red Fire's in the pits. That's going to be the end of Red Fire for sure. But Beatnik and Gecko, they had a nice little scrap fight. And Square, that's a nice fun fight for 6th place right there. So Square had a good fight with Beatnik, only to get uphanded by Gecko. Gecko moves away and out of here. So this is very interesting to say the least. And can I just also mention this? Look who's going to try to get into the points. Jack's in DRS striking distance of Payox, and we have a lead change. Luke has the lead switch with Maxwell. This is interesting. So the Red Bulls gonna try to play the same game that Mercedes did earlier in the race. Let's see how well effectively that works. Let's see, are they gonna do that? Yeah, I think they are. Oh, and Gecko just gets himself another penalty. I believe that's... Okay, so Gecko's up to 12 seconds of penalties. Jesus, man. So Gecko, even though he's 6, he's going to get launched all the way down to 14th. Because of those track limit penalties. Matt's only got 3 seconds, so he's safe. To being in P5. The Chiller's going to get launched down to P... Let's see, well, the Chiller's got 6, so he'll gain 6 on Gecko. So... Actually, the Chiller's going to be 13th, so Ferrari's going to be out of points because of their penalties. Because the amount of track limit penalties he got, and Maxwell and Luke switch it. Actually, Square is thinking of trying to battle with Gecko, but just didn't have the gusto to try to make this shot work. But Square will actually play it safe, because remember, Gecko does have 12 seconds of penalties on him. But I think Square, he'd like to clear Gecko to put himself into P6 and try to hunt down Matt to get into P5. I think that would be nice for Square to have to get on his return back to RPL racing. So Square, let's see what he's gonna do. I do wonder how he'll do, as the Red Bull pair are going to be approaching the backstretch, and actually their strategy is working. They're 6 seconds clear of Reese. A couple laps ago, he was almost 3 seconds. So they basically doubled their gap. I mean, Luke is clear of Reese by quite a margin. So I mean, even if he lets his teammate win, he'll still have a decent advantage. And there's only 6 races left to go in this event. So here we go. So Square still had a thought about trying, but he just couldn't muster it. So Square trying his best. Beatnik's still hanging in there? I'm actually shocked Beatnik's still hanging in there in 8th place where he is. I'm shocked that he's hanging in there. I I mean, there is Payox. Payox at risk of losing a point. And, I mean, no matter what happens, even if he gets a point or he doesn't get a point, Payox at this point, he's going to be knocked out of winning the Drivers' Championship. And this will be a blow to egg in the AlphaTauri team if they don't get any points on the board. And AlphaTauri, well, I mean, AlphaTauri should be okay because, like I said, with the amount of penalties that, well, now the Chiller's got another one, that puts him to 9 seconds. So with the Ferrari guys getting a ton of penalties, and the fact that Alpine is also out of the points as well, this basically just means that AlphaTauri will live to stay where they're sitting in 4th place in the Constructors. So, I just do wonder what will happen in terms of it, as Jack is actually now losing grip on Payox. So, is it just me, or is it maybe the soft tires are starting to drift away for these guys? And the soft tires are starting to fall away. Then that could mean that could ring a bell in the head of TB, but with TB being over 6 seconds behind, I kind of doubt it. So I kind of doubt that Beatnik is going to Beatnik and TB, they're going to try to gain some places with where they are in terms of their stuff, but so yeah. I do wonder what will happen there, and as Red Fire now joins the 3-second penalty club. So Red Fire joined the 3-second penalty club, and that's going to be the end there. That's going to be an even bigger blow to the TP of the Alpine Academy. Actually, we're going to have a new battle developing because Matt is catching up to the Mercedes team. But here's the thing, though. Matt has 3 seconds. So, and well, the other guys, they don't. So, even if Matt does get past, he's got to pull a 3-second gap, and he won't be able to do that. I mean, and it's the same thing applying with Gecko into Chiller, because Gecko has 12 seconds, and the Chiller's got 9. So, it's not going to be helpful whatsoever. I mean, literally, with the 9 seconds of penalties, let's see, with the 9 seconds, the Chiller's going to fall all the way to P13, and Gecko is going to fall to P12. So that means F1X, he's gonna be just shy of getting into the points. He'll be in P11. Well, KVS will get into the points in P10. Jack will be in the points in P9. And I mean, literally, we still have 3 different types of battles. It's Luke and Maxwell. Well, 3 different battles going on. Luke and Maxwell still doing their switching around. We had the battle for 3rd between TB, Reese, and Matt, and then this other one that we're looking over from the helicopter cam, Gecko, Square, and Beatnik. Well, technically it would be it's Beatnik and Square because of Gecko's truckload of penalties. And same thing also applies with the TB, Reese, and Matt section because of Matt's penalty. Now, if I was TB, I would say in the last lap, to at least get some damage limitation, I would let Reese through. I would let Reese through to P3 to damage limit Luke's gain in the championship standings. That's what I would do. And Reese is still on TB's tail, so I think TB he might have to concede P3 to Reese, so Reese can at least have 15 points and only lose. At this moment, he'll only lose 11 points to Luke. Instead of where he is, he'll lose 14. And as we enter the final lap of the event, TB is just pulling away from Reese. So, oh boy. It looks like TB is going to be playing it all for himself and not help his teammate. And Square on the outside now goes a long way around to try to get past Gecko, and Gecko wouldn't let him. And Cryptic joins the 3-second penalty club. So here we go, as these guys are just circling their way around for the final time here in Coda. And as you can see on the map, the Red Bulls, they are in the switchback. They just finished the switchbacks. Here comes Square again as he makes his move. Here comes Beatnik too. And, oh boy, this is going to get really good, but as we get back quickly, here he comes around the final corner to win the U.S. Grand Prix for the second race in a row. In the second race in a row this season, Luke wins the U.S. Grand Prix, Maxwell will take second, and TB finishes third, which means Reese falls 14 points behind, which is not what you would want. So Square, he'll be finishing in P5. Matt will be P5. Square will be P6. Beatnik P7. Let's see how far Gecko and the Chiller will fall. As Payox will take P8, KVS P9, and the Chiller takes P10. And the Chiller does get P10, so Jack just misses out on a point. So, well, Luke takes another win in this series. That is Luke's 9th win of the season. And we just saw the driver of the day flash up on screen. It is Jack. Well, I will say this. I have 2 people that will be driver of the day. That would be Jack. Came very close to getting a point, but just missed out. But he put up a valiant effort. But the other one, who I think a little stronger will be driver today, is NRX Square, aka Joseph Loki. His first RPL race back, and the British F4 driver, P6, in his return race. So that is a really good That's a really good finish for him. So there it is. Luke, your winner. Maxwell second. TB third. Reese 4. Matt 5. Joseph Loki in 6. Beatnik 7. Payox 8. KVS 9. And the Chiller, even after all those penalties, he gets P10. So that will conclude the stream for tonight. And just to let you guys know, there is going to be no races next week because it is the transfer window. It is going to be the transfer window, so that means drivers can opt about to go into certain seats and all that yada. But the following week, we'll be back in action. So, December 3rd, which is Friday, F1 Tier 2 will finish off the first half of Season 2, racing in Zandvoort. F2 on December 4th, 2 Saturdays from now, will be racing at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. And F1 in December 4th will be in Mexico City for the beginning of the last 6 races. So, from RPL Streams, this is Ty9 Will saying good night and have a wonderful one.